Hi friends, it's Terry Gaines. In this video, I'm going to create a fun fold card using the Dainty Flowers 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. This paper is one of the items you can receive free with a $50 purchase during Stampin' Up Celebration. Celebration ends on February 28th. This paper is absolutely beautiful. You receive 2 each of 6 double-sided prints. They are absolutely beautiful, as I mentioned. They have a fun floral print on one side and the other side is a background. And there is so many different projects you can make with this beautiful paper. The fun fold card I'm going to create, I'm going to use this print and I'm going to show you how I cut this print. But I've also created the same card using this print and this print. I'm using Mossy Meadow and Old Olive for my cardstock colors. And there's a couple other of those prints that would work out well too. So what I have is some dimensions, and I do have a PDF that you can download that's going to give you the dimensions and the cutting guide for the paper. So on my Designer Series paper, I have measured here that I want, the measurement here says we want a 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. So when I cut this paper, I make my 5 1/4 cut first. So I'm going to mark this on the scale here or the ruler for my cutter. And I'm going to cut that at 5 1/4. Then what I want to do, and for this side I would start from this bottom and also cut my 5 1/4. So my extra piece is going to be right in the center of that paper. Then I rotate it and then I cut it at 2 3/8. And the reason I cut it at 2 3/8 is I can get 5 images or 5 pieces across this strip. And what's nice about that also is each of these captures some beautiful floral prints on this. So all 5 of these are going to work out really well. What I chose to do, but let me back up. If I have 5 2 3/8 pieces, I'm going to have 1/8 of an extra piece. I have calculated that I want my 1/8 extra right in this section right here. So I'm going to rotate this and put this on my cutter at 2 3/8, and I'm going to go ahead and cut all 5 of these, and then you can see how beautiful they are, and all 5 of these are going to be wonderful. And I absolutely love this paper, and this is one of my favorite of the 6 prints. And as I mentioned, you got 1/8 of an inch extra, so I took it right off of this section right here, and that works perfect. Look how pretty this section is. And then you've got, look, all of these, absolutely beautiful. So you can't go wrong with any of those. So you get 5 on this side, and then on the other half of the paper, you're going to get another 5. So you're going to get 10 per sheet, and that'd be 20 because there's 2 of these sheets. But also you've got 5 other prints. So you can make lots of cards with this fun fold pattern. So our card base is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've got that as Mossy Meadow. The next layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and this is going to be adhered down to the card. So what you want to do is use your favorite adhesive to do this, or to assemble this. And I'm using the Stampin' Seal, and what I like to do is look at opposite corners and just look for equal spacing on all sides and drop that into place. So that's the card base layer. Then we have a folded cardstock. This is 11 inches by 2 5/8, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So this is going to be folded. You can bring in your bone folder to crease this. Now this is where we're going to have the Designer Series paper on. So as I mentioned, you are not going to go wrong with any of these. So I'll just grab the first one, and I'm going to adhere this to that top fold. I have some additional samples to show you how I stepped up the card. But for this, for the assembly purposes, I'm just going to assemble a quick fun fold card. So that's on the outside. On the inside of the card, we have a 2 1/8 by 5 inch. I have basic white. I stamped my sentiment for the inside. The sentiments I'm using on this card are from the Pansy Patch. I love this stamp set for the images, but also for the sentiments. You've got some outside sentiments and inside sentiments for your cards. So I've already stamped this ahead of time. So I'm going to adhere this to the inside of the card. And so we're going to place this right in here. And then just look for equal spacing on all four sides and place that in. Now what I'm going to do is put adhesive on the back of this card. And this is going to be assembled onto the card base. So I'm just going to stand it up on the table to get it flush on the bottom. I'm going to have about a 1/4 inch of the old olive color to show here. So that brings this down like so. So now what we have is cardstock for the outside sentiment. I have already punched the oval, decorative oval or scalped oval from the double oval punch. And then I have the happy birthday stamped, and I did this ahead of time. Let me see if I have that strip here. So what I like to do is I personally like to stamp my strip of paper and then bring in the oval punch and then punch this out. But you can always punch them ahead of time and then stamp on them. So now what I'm going to do is put the adhesive on the oval, adhere these. Now I'm going to have the sentiment go off a little bit. Now you have options here. This could be a different punch, it could be die cuts. And I always mention that the decision on where to place this is going to be the place that you don't cover up the beautiful floral images. So right here is going to be perfect. So what I'm going to do is have it hang over a little bit, but I don't want any exposed adhesive here. So my trick is to bring in my dimensionals. I'll put one dimensional on that end, and then I'll place my other dimensional on my cardstock right here. Now when I take my backings off both of those, now I'm free to just place this wherever I would like, and I don't have to worry about any adhesive being exposed here. And that is the simple fun fold card. But as I mentioned, you could use any of these prints and make a beautiful card. I do have a PDF that you can download that is going to give you the dimensions and my cutting for the designer series paper, and then there'll be a link to this video so you can click on the video and get the details for that. But here's some additional cards. Here, this one has a different floral print, and these are the two other prints that I thought would work out well. And then what you could do is run the paper through the painted texture embossing folder, and then you could also bring in some ink, and for example the old olive ink and a sponge dauber, and then you can just highlight and color in some of this paper and just add some texture to that. And that's what I did for, that's what I did for these cards right here. I just texturized this and added some ink, and then you have your same fun fold. And here I have a different punch, Label Me Lovely punch, and then the stylish shapes for the circle. So there's so much you can add to this, but you can switch up the colors and change up your designer series paper and make some fun cards. I hope you enjoyed this fun fold. I do have a little added special for customers that use my host code in February. If your order is $50, along with my other thank you gifts, you will receive a packet to make 3 of these cards. It will be this print, and then one of the 5 different prints for here. So a little bonus as an extra thank you this month. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you do not have a demonstrator and would like to place a Stampin' Up! Order, I would love to work with you. You can contact me, and there'll be a direct link to my Stampin' Up! Store on the bottom of this video and the bottom of my blog post. If you found me via YouTube, there'll be a direct link to my blog post so you can download this PDF. I hope you enjoyed the fun fold. Thanks for stopping by. Take care and happy creating.